Hello, and welcome to the final Kendrick Lamar album reaction. In my little thing, I'm not doing Section 80, I'm not doing, I don't know, whatever other ones he's done, Untitled, Unmastered. I'm just doing the ones that I'm interested in. And this time, GNX. So, I guess I have pretty medium expectations for this one. I enjoyed Mr. Morale, but I didn't love it as I feel some people do. And I don't know, the album cover, I'm not a huge fan of the album cover on this album. Like, I didn't overly love it, Mr. Morale, but I thought the album cover was at least really good, and even Damn and stuff. But I don't know, it's just him standing in front of a car, like, it looks like it would be the cover of a single, not the full album. But yeah, let's get into GNX. It starts off memorable. It very much feels like an intro, like you wouldn't be able to put this anywhere else in the album without it feeling really dumb. But as an opening, it works well. Beat goes hard. Maybe this album might not be as good as better than I thought you think it will be. I can't speak good. It's quite a long song. Like, usually his intros are pretty snappy, quick, like one of the shorter songs on the album. This one's going on for like nearly 5 minutes. But it still kind of has the evolution, like how the song changes throughout the song that is usually present in his other stuff. So it still works at least. The lyrics go hard, as per usual. Overall, really entertaining song. I think it sets this album up to have some really good potential. I did actually kind of hear some of this album when it came out, like it dropped, and I just kind of put it on in the background and wasn't overly paying attention. I think I listened to about half of it, but yeah, I think now that I'm actually kind of getting invested in it, it is a lot better. Next up, Squabble Up, which I think is one of the big ones. Yeah, I've heard the intro a lot. One thing I haven't really pointed out in his music is that he always knows how to open a song, you know, like, you know, it's a great intro, like it always brings you in, kind of memorable, like Humble's got that cool intro, Alright's got a cool intro, Wesley's Theory's got the cool intro. He's just really good at it. Even DNA, United in Grief, like he's just fantastic at it. I forgot to rate the other song. I'd give it like a high 7 out of 10. Nice. I feel like this one's very kind of similar to For Free almost, where it's just like a really fun song that a lot of people can enjoy. It's like the second one on the album, and it's just short and fun, and it's not much else. That one's really good. The chorus is very catchy. You can definitely see why it became one of the more popular ones on the album, and the one that most of the people kind of think of. Like when I think of this album, that's usually what I think of. Yeah, I think it works well. I think it's a high 8 out of 10. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and it is fun. Next song, Luther. The instrumental kind of sounds boring. I'm also not a huge fan of the way he's like saying stuff on the album. Like it just, I don't know, it just feels more, it feels a bit too different to what he usually does. Like it just kind of feels forgettable. The chorus is really good, at least. It kind of saves it a bit. It's starting to get a lot better now that after the chorus, I think. It started off a bit rough. That chorus is really, really good. Yeah, I think it starts off a little rough and then just progressively keeps getting better the more it goes. Almost kind of felt a bit too short, actually, by the time it was finished. But I think it is a really good song, and it might even be like a 9 out of 10. It's my favourite of the three so far, which is weird because of how much I didn't like the beginning. But yeah, next song. Man at the Garden. When are they gonna stop tuning their instruments and play the music? Like with the last song, not a huge fan of the way it opens. Like it just feels a bit too slow and not that interesting. But maybe it'll grow on me, like the last song did. Yeah, it hasn't really grown on me, I guess. Like, this is alright, but far from one of my favourites. Kind of sounds filler. I don't know. I guess it sounds fine, I guess. Yeah, I want to skip it while listening to it on the album, but it's not one I'm overly looking forward to while listening. Probably like a 6 out of 10. Next song. Hey Now. Is this a Crowded House reference? The intro is really good so far. Because it's memorable. The chorus is a little anticlimactic, but it works well enough for the song. It's not overly disappointing, but isn't really overly great. The instrumental kind of sounds like video game music in the best way possible. Like, I feel like I'd hear this in, like, Zelda or something. This is probably my favourite song on the album so far. This is really good. It's catchy, it's fun, and it's entertaining. Really, really good. Definitely my favourite so far. One of his better songs, probably on both this album and the last album. It just works so well, everything comes together nicely. I'd give it like a high 9 to maybe even a 10 out of 10. Maybe sometimes the more I listen to a song and the more familiar I get and the more personal connection I have to it, the higher the rating can get. So if I give something a high 9, there is a very good chance that in the near future it will end up becoming a 10 when I start re-listening to this album more. Next song, Reincarnated, which is a word that he already used in one of his other songs. and it's also using the Spanish intro, which he also did on one of his other songs. This also sounds like video game music, but like in a good way. This album is a lot better than I was expecting. It's very consistent. Unlike Mr. Morale, which was mostly good, but was way more mixed. This song is really, really good. I love the little piano. I love piano stuff in rap music. Very feels like, kind of feels like something from like the late 90s. Or like early 2000s. I love that kind of style and sound that is prominent in that kind of era of music. Like it feels almost exaggerated and over the top, but like that's the charm. I've definitely added this to like my playlist, and same with the last one. Like this is just like sounds so good. Right as I start to think like it should start wrapping up, is when it starts to wrap up. Like it's just about to be over, and yeah, it goes for just about the perfect length. Doesn't go too long, doesn't feel too short. It keeps you engaged for the whole song. I'd give it another 10 out of 10. I think I'd give this one a 10 out of 10. It's definitely my favourite song on the album so far. Just excellent, really reminiscent of what makes Kendrick as good as he is. Next song, TV Off. I'm pretty sure this is the one with that mustard. So I have heard that mustard. That beat is very good. I'm actually not watching this on my TV, I'm watching it on my phone, so you can't turn the TV off if there's no TV here. So that instrumental is just like incredible. This album is just fantastic. It's one of his best. Bro, what is this 1865 beat? I mean, oh, mustard. Me when someone asks me what the yellow condiment is. Mustard. Absolute music. I didn't know they did it again. It's like he stubbed his toe while trying to get my gun on that beat though. It's like the same style as Not Like Us, but not as good, but still really, 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 really good. Maybe I'm just on a Kendrick high, but that's another 10 out of 10. This album is like excellent so far. There were like one or two songs that weren't great, but other than that, all the songs have been really, really good so far. I'd give that one a 10 out of 10. It's probably my favourite so far. That or Reincarnated, they're pretty different, so it's kind of hard to pick, but yeah, I thought it was very, very good. Next song is Dodger Baloo. It's only a short one. It sounds like the beat on that Taylor Swift song, and I hate that that's what I'm thinking of. It's like, damn, you need to calm down. It's not as excellent as the previous two songs, but it's got its own little style, and I think it sounds really nice. Fits with everything else. I like how different this bit sounds. Oh yeah, and the song's only 2 minutes long. Doesn't overstay its welcome, at least. It's just a nice little, guys, kind of feels like an interlude. But yeah, I'd give it like, I would have given it a 9 if it was longer, but it just doesn't stay for that long. So I'd probably just give it like a soft 8 out of 10. Next song, Peekaboo. Not a huge fan of this chorus. It just feels a bit too repetitive. And doesn't do that much. So yeah. One of the weaker songs off this, what is usually a really good album. I mean, it works well enough, but it's just a bit too repetitive for me. Boom, bop, boom, bop, bam. Okay, that bit's really good, but on this part, it's getting better, but that first minute was just like not great. Can see, because now it's doing different things, and it's actually like feels like different parts of a song are coming together instead of just going peekaboo, peekaboo, peekaboo. Yeah, it's just the same thing. Usually it can work when it's kind of expanding, but it just feels like it's just doing the same thing over and over again. I'd probably give it like a low 7 out of 10. It's alright. It's got some good stuff, but if it wasn't as repetitive, it'd probably be a bit higher. Next song, Heart Part 6. Is this a Drake reference? Can't believe he stole the song name. SMH. I've never actually listened to any of the other Heart songs because they're not on the album, so I don't listen to individual singles that much. I've barely even listened, not like us. But yeah, I think this sounds really, really nice. The chorus almost sounds like a Tyler, the Creator song. Even the verse kind of sounds like it. But I like that, so no complaints. The chorus is really nice. I think the production sounds really good, and I like the little thing. I love it when songs do that. I'm barely even talking throughout this song. Like, I'm just so invested in how good this is. Probably the best song in the album so far. Absolutely fantastic sounding. Wow. Just sounds phenomenal. 10 out of 10. This is a fantastic album. Next song, the title track. What is that beat? Pop champagne, oh, pop champagne, oh. This sounds awful. What the hell is this? Was it like a symphonic rise or something? What the hell was that doing here? Usually I like that stuff, but it just sounded really out of place. Is this a joke song? This is awful. That beat is terrible. What the hell is this? I love terrible songs. This is the title track of the album, and it's this bad. Am I missing something here? Do people think this is a masterpiece or something? Because this song sucks. It sounds awful. This is a joke. This is a joke. This song is horrendous. What is that like? It sounds really bad. This is his worst song ever. This sounds like a parody. Pop champagne. We're jumping out the window with this one. Jumping out the window with this one. Pop champagne, oh. Pop champagne, oh. Getting A-rap money. What did my ears just witness? That is one of the worst songs I've ever heard. What did I... Like, I'm genuinely confused. Is there something I'm not getting here? Or is it that bad? It's like a 2 out of 10. It's not offensively terrible. Usually I'd only give like a 1 out of 10 to something that is just either miserable or like actually offensive. It's neither of those things, but it sucks. That's a 2 out of 10. That is really bad. That is one of the worst beats I've ever heard. It sounds intentionally awful. I don't know what they were cooking here, but they burnt it, whatever it was. The hell was that? That simultaneously just dropped this album's rating from like a 9 to a 8. Next song, Gloria. Ooh. Maybe that's the previous song was so bad it just put me in a bad mood, but I'm just not enjoying this one as some of the other ones. I did also say that what's that song? My Body's Made of Crushed Little Stars off Puberty 2 was one of the worst songs I ever heard. But since become one of my favourite songs, so maybe I was just missing something the first time. I don't know what I was on, but maybe I'm just missing something this time, and in the future I think it's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Who knows? This is the closing song on the album. This is the same guy that did Mortal Man and Duckworth and Compton. I feel like it's just of how bad the other song was. It's just... I mean, it's still good. This chorus is really good sounding. It's not his best closer, but I think it's better than the last closer. I feel like I wasn't a huge fan of... Was it Mirror? But, it's still not as good as some of his other ones, but it's still pretty good. It's a solid song. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. The album as a whole, I would have given it like probably a soft 9 out of 10. Not as good as GKMC or T-Pap, but better than Mr. Morale and Damn. However, that title track was so bad, and I cannot physically give it an album with a song that awful a 9 out of 10. So I'm going to have to give it a high 8. I'd probably still prefer it over Damn. I'm skipping that awful title track every time I'm listening to this album. Other than that, really good. Some fantastic songs are a lot better than I was expecting it. I was thinking this would be my least favourite of the ones I listened to. So yeah, my ranking would be Mr. Morale, which was like I feel like it was like a soft 8 out of 10. Damn, which was a solid 8 out of 10. G-Nex, high 8 out of 10. Good Kid, Mad City, high 9 out of 10. T-Pab, easy 10. Next week, I'm going to start my Tyler the Creator listen through. I'm going to do Goblin, and I'm going to do them all in order. And then my next one will be on Thursday, Discovery, which I've never listened to. So stay tuned for that. So, yeah, that's the end.